Welcome back to Allison Customs Project Car TV. Today I'm working with a Predator generator, and it's just to go with our camper. The reason I chose the one I did is this is a 2,000 watt max, and I think it's enough to run most everything in our camper with the exception of the air conditioners. But you can buy a second one of these and then link them so that they'll run in parallel, I guess, so that you can get up to a 4,000 max, which would run an air conditioner, one of ours. Anyway, we're getting ready to take a long trip. We needed some power for on the road, or for evenings, because we're not going to be in campgrounds. I bought this and I got it on sale. I think I paid $5.69 for it. It says you got to add oil. I don't believe it comes with any oil. You've got to add fuel. We're just going to test out, see how easy it is to start. I'm sure there's 1,000 videos out there about these, but we're going to make it 1,001. So here we go. Okay, no damage or anything like that, which you never know when you're getting stuff from Harbor Freight. 210 volt outlets. 13.3 amps max. So the only thing in the camper I'm concerned that might not be able to run would be the microwave. And in all honesty, pretty much all we need it for is to run TVs and a microwave. Everything else will run off the batteries. There is no inverter in my camper, so that would be something we could consider adding in the future. Sorry about the background noise. It's windy as all heck here today. It's been snowing this morning and it's been a mess. So anyway, so the plan here is to get it running, make sure everything works right, see how easy it is, and then take it out and plug the camper into it and see what we can run. It says fill with gas here, add fuel stabilizer, add stabilizer to the fuel when I went to the gas station and got it, because it'll sit around here for months probably. And then open the access panel and add engine oil. One of the first interesting things is that to get to where you add oil, you have to take screws out of a side panel. Seems like if you wanted people to check this regularly, you would, like the location to fill is right here. So you remove 3 screws across the top. Panel kind of lays out and then pulls up. The oil fill and dipstick is this piece, and I think I read already that you're supposed to check the oil every 8 hours. Well, you're going to take this panel off every 8 hours? Assuming you're going to do that properly, seems like they would have made it easier to get to. So that would be what I would consider strike number 1. But let's not dwell on that. Go ahead and get some oil in it. You guys have as hard a time as I do finding a clean funnel. Seems like every time I want to use a funnel, I got to clean them. And of course that one's too big anyway. All right, let's try that again. That one fits. It says it uses 13 ounces of oil. So I'm using Castrol 10W30 is what it called for. 10W30 is what it called for. I'm using Castrol GTX. That's the brand I like. And we're going to put 13 ounces in. That's going to be pretty close. Okay, so people at the store, when I picked it up, said, hey, don't forget to put oil in it, or the warranty's void. So I said, okay. If you look at the instructions, it says to check the oil. There was nothing on the dipstick. I took that to mean that there was no oil in it at all. But what it really meant was it was just really low on oil. So when you get yours, don't put 13 ounces in it right away. Now the only reason I was leaning mine back was just because of the shape of the funnel. It was just going to be easier to get it all in there. So what I'm saying is it probably only needed about 4 ounces of oil to be full. It's my brake cleaner. I don't know if you guys remember the video I did on these Sure Shots, but Sure Shot sprayer. I keep brake clean in this one. Best thing in the world. Because you can buy it by the gallon, and it's way cheaper to buy that stuff by the gallon than it is a bunch of spray cans. Air filters right here. Looks like it uses the same one on a lot of lawnmowers, where it's almost a rectangle and then it has the one corner cut off. Well, there are some little drain holes down here in the bottom of the floor, so spraying that in there, it's cleaning out now. This stuff, I will probably run this for an hour or two outside and then bring it back in and change the oil, which is why I had bought 2 quarts, because I thought I was going to need most of 1 quart to fill it and then another one, so we'll check that. It's not terribly heavy. It tells you on the box how much it weighs. I mean, it's not light by any means, but once I think it holds 1.2 gallons of fuel or something like that. You're supposed to run this for 30 hours for a break-in and not run it over 75% of its usage. So we're going to have to put some hours on it. You're supposed to check engine oil every 8 hours of use, check the air filter every 3 months or 50 hours, change the oil every 6 months or 100 hours, so we'll get 1 oil change in fairly early. And then clean and replace the air filter, clean and or replace the air cleaner, which they call it air filter in one place and air cleaner in another. There's a plug, a rubber plug right here at the top for accessing the spark plug. And that tool is included in our toolkit. So yeah, it says it holds 13 ounces of engine oil and 1.27 gallons of fuel, 4.8 liters. Run about 12 hours on a tank of fuel if you're not running it over 25%. Let's put some fuel in it. So now it does recommend adding fuel stabilizer. I put the fuel stabilizer in this can when I filled up the tank today. I'm sure other people's videos, they don't include all the mess, but with me you get to see all the messes I make too. So let's see what it does. Pretty good at 2 pulls. Output light just went from red to green. That's pretty quiet. That's with the side panel not even on. Supposed to wait several seconds, wait for the output light, and then slowly switch this to run. I imagine start just turns on the choke. So then anyway, this is it's a different kind of plug. I mean, it looks like a regular household plug, but the tangs or whatever you want to call them are angled. And they'll plug in only to this one outlet, which gives you a 12 volts. So probably for charging batteries, so that'd be nice to charge the camper battery if we need to. And it's got the outlets here for doing the parallel system if you have a second one of these generators. Actually, so it says to shut it off, unplug whatever's plugged in, turn it off, and then close the valve, the vent cap. And that would be it. So I'm gonna let this run for about another minute or so. Then I'm gonna check the oil, take it outside, let it run for couple hours. I'll check back with you in a little bit. Alright, well it's run for about 5 hours-ish. I don't remember exactly when I took it outside and ran it, but I did plug in some power to it and it ran pretty much everything I tried, except I tried the microwave and it would initially start and then you could tell it was kind of like doing like a brownout. So shut it off, because we're not supposed to run this over 75% of its wattage either. And I don't know how big that microwave is. It's in an RV, but physically it's a fairly large unit, much like you'd have in your house. But I was kind of guessing it would be a 1500 watt version, but it may be pushing 2000 or 2500 watts even. One of the things, like I said, initially it would start to come on like it was going to run, and then it would just ease off like it didn't have enough power. there's this ESC throttle, which is an economy switch, and I had it on based on the instructions, but I read a little further in there, and you can turn that off, and what it'll do is it'll idle up or run at a higher speed, which maybe that, you know, with it on, it was idling really low and not burning a lot of fuel. Maybe by doing that, I would have enough initial power to go ahead and let the microwave run. But either way, I was going to change the oil before we go on our trip. And what I'm thinking is I checked it. It hadn't changed at all. We haven't used any oil, which is a good thing. I'm kind of thinking that maybe I will, the instructions say you don't need to change it to the 30-hour point, the end of the break-in period. That seems like a long time for this little motor to run, you know, and you're getting all the metals and debris from when it was being made. So I'm kind of thinking I will change it at the end of tomorrow. I'm going to try and let this run for another 7 or 8 hours tomorrow, trying to get this through as much of that break-in period as we can before we go on our trip. But for now, I'm going to put the side back on it and put it back outside, let it run probably till dark, and then I'll shut it off, pull it in the shop, and then in the morning get up, come out, top it off with fuel, and run it again. So like I said, get as many hours as possible on it. And then I think before we take off, I'll go ahead and get the oil changed. So I'll come back. Best I can tell, what we do is just take the cap off and then tip it over and drain it out. Can't find anywhere in the instructions where it tells you how to change the oil, just that you're supposed to. And I thought about maybe being able to take this bottom plate off, but it's actually, that's the motor mounts. Hey, well, welcome back. It's been a few days. I've been running this as much as I possibly can in between. And I've got probably only have maybe 15, 18, something like that, hours on it. Maybe as much as 20. I just don't know. Didn't really keep as good a track as I probably should have. Anyway, what we're going to do now is pull this cover back off, drain the oil, put fresh oil in it, put this in top it off with fuel and put it in the camper, and be ready to head down the highway first thing in the morning. And had it plugged into the camper. Heaters run, you can do everything. As long as you turn that ESC switch off, the microwave will kick on and run. Without that ESC switch, if it's on, it just won't give it the initial boost to go ahead and let the microwave in there turn on. Anyway, let's find a funnel. Old paint cup. I use it to, I burn some waste oil in my turbine heater, whatever you call those things that make all the noise. But I'd mix it like, you know, maybe 1 gallon to 10 gallons of diesel. Anyway, I was thinking I'd use this. That way I could also try and measure and see how much oil we get out of here. There we go. And let's see. This is saying I got 10 ounces in there. It's a little bit dark for oil that doesn't have that long on it. It also has just a little bit of metallic sheen to it. So it's good that we're changing it. Wish I could show you that better. But it's just like I have to get it in the right light, and then I can see just a little bit of metallic floating in the oil or whatever. So it's good that we're changing it. You know, a new motor that's going to have some of that, but also the fact that who knows how clean the factory is where they're putting the motor together. You're liable to get some again. So I'm going to do like I started to do last time and tilt this back so that I can just pour it in. And we're going to aim for about 8 to 10 ounces there. Well, we know we took 10 out, so we ought to be able to put about 10 in. Let's stop there and check it. And I can just see it in there. Now, the directions don't talk about looking at this dipstick on here at all. It just mentions that the oil should be level with the threads, and I'm a little bit below that point, but on this little dipstick I'm almost completely full, so we're within probably half an ounce or so. Put just a hair more in. I don't need to make another mess, so we'll just go slow. If we need to add it 2 or 3 times, I will. That's right there to the threads. Put this in, tighten it down. We've changed the oil. The air filter's not due till the 50-hour mark or something. I'll have to go back and look at the instructions on that. Put this cover back on. Got that turned off, and we'll get this thing put away for tomorrow's trip. There's these little tabs on the bottom. Kind of see how they are. And they go into a square slot here on the generator bottom. And you just got to go in, center one first, and then get those other ones in. There we go. Get those in, and then 3 screws along the top here. Again, I think this is kind of I'll call it interesting idea on a way to secure this side. It's definitely secure, but because you have to get tools out, you know, it's gonna get people not to check the oil instead of to be checking the oil regularly like they should. So probably not the best design idea from that standpoint. You know, so here it is. Check oil every 8 hours, clean the air filter regularly, add fuel stabilizer. Run for 15 to 20 minutes every 3 months. Well, if you have to have a tool to take the side off, you're less likely to actually do the maintenance. So I don't think that's a wise choice on their part, unless the goal is that you burn it up right outside of the warranty period, and then you buy another one. You know, so. And you probably wouldn't do it on a second one, but so that's it. I hope some of this was helpful. You know, useful information. I've found the generator to be very useful, very functional. Have not tried the 12-volt charging system yet, but plugging it into my camper, runs the lights, runs the microwave, runs the refrigerator. Will not run the refrigerator and the microwave at the same time, but you know, overall, I found it to be really good, and I'm just going to stick with one for now. If we find we need more power and we're camping out away from services regularly, I probably will pick up the second one and the parallel cord to make it that much more usable. But for now, that's it. Thanks for watching Allison Customs Project Car TV or Project RV. I don't know. We'll see ya. Have a good day.